Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubrali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Ontario MPP asked again to leave Ontario legislature over Kefir. Speaker loosens ban. Have you been removed from your family doctor's patient list for visiting an Ontario walk-in clinic? Father who survived Highway 401 crash remembers infant son parents, three of the most precious people. WestJet's mechanics union agreed to tentative deal to avoid strike. Hundreds strike at Nestle chocolate plant in Toronto, Unifor says. Toronto to see warm, sunny weather on Monday. Ontario to require menstrual products on construction sites.
Those were the headlines, and let's jump right into the details.
Toronto will see a bright and warm start to the work week after a rainy weekend in the city. Environment Canada is calling for sunshine and high of 20 Celsius today, about 3 degrees warmer than the average daytime high of 16.7 Celsius. More sunshine and warm weather are in the forecast on Tuesday. The National Weather Agency said Toronto will see sunny skies and a high of 18 Celsius tomorrow. Showers are expected to move in on Wednesday, which will see a high of 22 Celsius. More rain is possible on Thursday and Friday as the temperatures dip to slightly below seasonal. Environment Canada said daytime highs of 16 Celsius and 15 Celsius are expected on Thursday and Friday respectively. An Ontario family says they are reeling in profound grief after losing their 3-month-old son and parents visiting from India in a wrong-way crash on Highway 401 in Whitby last Monday. In a statement released on behalf of the family by the Special Investigations Unit on Sunday, the parents wrote that they lost three of the most precious people in their lives. The aftermath has left an indelible mark on our lives with profound grief, Gopalnath Manivanan and Ashwita Jawahar wrote. They said their son's little toys and clothes are still spread around their house. We have no courage in us to even enter our home, which is filled with our only son's memories, Manivanan wrote. We are at a complete loss of words to describe the agony and vacuum in our hearts, knowing we can never hold our child Aditya Ivan, who gave us so many precious memories in such a short time. Just 2 days before the crash, Manivanan said his father, Mr. Manivanan Srinivasa Pillai, and mother, Mrs. Mahalakshmi Anantakrishnan, traveled from Chennai, India to Toronto for the sole purpose of spending time with their grandson. On Monday, the family was traveling in a Nissan Sentra on the eastbound lanes of Highway 401 in Whitby when Durham Regional Police were involved in a high-speed chase of a suspect fleeing west on the eastbound lanes. The chase ultimately resulted in the life-changing crash. Manivanan wrote his father, who had recently retired at 60 years old, and mother, who was 55, were overjoyed with the opportunity to spend time with their grandson and step into the year of grandparents' fun. Manivanan and Jawahar were also in the centre during the collision and taken to hospital for treatment. In the statement on Sunday, Manivanan said his wife has suffered surgeries and repeated flashbacks of the trauma, while the pain of his own injuries builds as he grapples with the shock of losing his parents and only son in the same night. While we begin the arduous journey of planning farewells for our loved ones, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to community who hold our family in their thoughts. Amidst these challenging circumstances, we kindly ask for the space to heal in private. A cremation will take place for the grandparents on Monday at 11 a.m., followed by the cremation of the 3-month-old on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. at Forest Lawn Crematorium. Visitation services will take place on Wednesday morning from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at Chapel Ridge Funeral Home. Some Ontarians are expressing frustration after they said that they were removed from their family doctor's patient list for visiting a walk-in clinic, in a process being called de-rostering. Multiple people told Awaz News last week that after seeking care at another clinic, they discovered their family physician had removed them from the patient list. One individual from Brampton, Ontario said his family doctor is in downtown Toronto and he doesn't go unless his need is great. Instead, he visits a walk-in clinic near his home. When he required a document signed and went to his family doctor, he was informed he was derostered. They went on the computer and they're like, "Oh, we don't even have you on here anymore," the caller told Awaz News. "I didn't get a letter or anything." Similar stories were shared throughout the Awaz News segment of patients who were informed after the fact that they would no longer be a patient at their primary care office following multiple walk-in clinic visits. In some cases, the patient was given a formal letter, and in other cases, the patient found out when they tried to make an appointment. None of the patients knew this was a possibility, although one Awaz News caller said that some clinics have started putting signs up in their office. The process of derostering is specific to physicians associated with a family health organization or network. According to the province, these doctors are compensated through a combination of fee-for-service and pay-per-patient. When a patient receives care outside of the network, the ministry deducts the cost from a potential bonus payment that can be earned. The spokesperson for the Minister of Health confirmed this practice, saying in a statement that in certain circumstances, when a patient receives care from more than one healthcare provider, an enrolling physician may decide to de-enroll a patient. The spokesperson said the physician can continue to provide services to the patients on fee-for-service basis throughout the Ontario Health Insurance Plan. Have you been removed from a physician's patient list for using an outside service? How were you informed, and what impact has it had on you or your family's health? Share your story by emailing us. An Ontario MPP was asked again to leave the Ontario legislature on Monday for wearing a keffiyeh, a garment that was banned by the Speaker last month due to its political symbolism. Sarah Gemma was named by House Speaker Ted Arnott for donning the black and white checkered scarf, which has become synonymous with Palestinian solidarity, meaning she cannot vote on matters before the House for the remainder of the day. Gemma left the legislative chamber, as did MPPs Joel Harden and Kristen Wong-Tam, who also donned the scarves in solidarity with the independent representative for Hamilton Centre. Gemma was asked to leave the chamber last month as well for wearing the garment, but refused. The ban announced by Arnott last month after they concluded it had come to represent a political statement was loosened prior to the question period and Gemma's removal. Now the Speaker says the ban only applies in the chamber and not throughout Queen's Park. It has been our standard practice again for many decades to ask those who seek to enter the Legislative Assembly not to wear any attire which appears to be intended to make a political statement for any sort. This is intended to promote order and decorum and mostly has had the desired effect through the years, Arnott said Monday. But in this case, which unfortunately became politicized, it has instead fostered division and discord both in this House and in our communities in the province. Speaking to reporters outside of the chamber, Gemma said she will continue to wear the garment despite the ban. Leaders of all four political parties, including Premier Doug Ford, have called for the ban's reversal, and the NTP has tried twice to get unanimous consent to allow members to wear the scarf, both of which were unsuccessful due to a handful of dissenting progressive conservative members. On Monday, NDP leader Marit Stiles called on Ford to do what's right and put the matter to formal vote. If that request fails, Stiles said her party would hold what's known as an opposition day motion next week, which could pass with a simple majority. A potential strike between WestJet and its mechanics union appears to have been avoided. A statement from the Calgary-based airline Sunday night says a tentative deal between it and the Aircraft Mechanics Fraternal Association has been agreed to. If the contract is ratified by both sides, it will mark the first approved collective bargaining agreement between WestJet and AMFA. WestJet had issued a 72-hour lockout notice on Saturday to the union saying it was response to AMFA announcing a strike vote. The union, which represents around 670 aircraft maintenance engineers and skilled trade groups with the carrier, had cited wages, outsourcing, scheduling, and layoff protection as standout issues during negotiations. Terms of the deal had not been made public as of Sunday night. Hundreds of Nestle workers walked off the job in Toronto on Sunday after rejecting a tentative agreement with union reached with the chocolate maker. Unifor issued a statement saying its 461 members who work as machine operators, bar packers, shippers and receivers, general laborers, and in the skilled trades at the Toronto Nestle plant choose to go on strike on Sunday evening. The plant produces Kit Kat, Aero, and Coffee Crisp chocolate bars, as well as Smarties, and Nestle says it doesn't expect the strike will have an immediate effect on the product's availability in the stores. Unifor says its members wanted improvements to the pension plan and rejected a 2-year freeze on a cost of living adjustment. It says it doesn't currently have any bargaining dates scheduled. Nestle Canada says its disappointed workers rejected the tentative deal and it plans to work with the union to get workers back on the job. The Ontario government will require large construction sites in the province to provide menstrual products as part of an omnibus bill set to introduced Monday. Labour Minister David Piccini says the requirement will apply to sites of 20 workers or more where construction is expected to last at least 3 months. The Working for the Workers bill, the fifth installment in a series of government labor legislation, will also require employers at construction sites and other workplaces to keep washrooms clean and sanitary and maintain records of cleaning. In a news release issued Monday, the government said the legislation, which it described as first of its kind in Canada, would make the skilled trades more accessible to women and support women at work. To deliver on this government's ambitious plan to build Ontario, we are going to need more hands on deck, Piccini said at a Monday morning news conference. But without more women in the trades, we'll have one hand tied behind our backs and refuse to let this happen. The government says approximately 1 in 10 construction workers are women, and according to 2022 Ontario Building and Construction Trades Women Survey, half of respondents said better washrooms on site were needed to make construction more appealing to women. Also included in the bill is the addition of virtual harassment to the Occupational Health and Safety Act's definition of workplace harassment and workplace sexual harassment. As well, the bill pledges to engage with harassment survivors, legal experts, and stakeholders to create a duty to act for employers to address workplace misconduct. Parts of the bill were teased last week, with the government announcing bigger fines for bad actor employers in the province and expanded health coverage for woodland firefighters. Also included is the removal of sick note requirements for workers on short absences to reduce paperwork for family doctors. Piccini is expected to table the bill in legislature Monday afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.